The stars outside the space station looked the same every night, cold, quiet, and endless. Commander Varel Quinn sat alone in the observation deck, his eyes staring out at nothing. But his thoughts were full of someone he hadn't seen in years. Her name was Ayla. She had been his closest friend since their academy days. They trained together, studied together, and shared dreams of exploring the galaxy. They laughed about building a ship of their own one day. But that dream faded when Ayla got assigned to a long-term science post on the far edge of known space. The day she left, Varel felt something in his chest break. At first, they sent messages. Every week, a new story. Every month, a new memory shared. But time passed. Messages became short, then rare, and now, it's nothing for over a year. Varel still wrote messages, just didn't send them. Tonight, he wrote one more. "Dear Ayla," he began, fingers hovering above the keyboard. "It's been 387 days since I last heard from you. The Empire says your sector is secure, but I don't know if I believe them. I don't know if you're okay, or if you've forgotten." He paused, heart heavy. He didn't want to sound angry, but he was. Not at her. At himself for letting the distance grow, for not trying harder, for waiting instead of reaching. Outside, strange light blinked across the black. A sensor alert flared silently on his desk. "Unscheduled jump signature?" computer said softly. Varel wiped his face and stood up. The alert showed a ship massive, unknown, and human. His heart skipped. "Impossible," he whispered. No human ship had left Earth space in over 200 years. The Empire had seen to that. He ran to the command room. Breath short. "Show me the ship," he ordered. A glowing image appeared on the screen. The ship was dark gray, covered in strange markings. Old-style engines, older than anything the Empire. Aloud, its name blinked in faint letters. HSS Retribution. Varel stared in shock. Human stellar ship. The bridge crew was silent. No one knew what to say. "Send a message," he said. "Quest identification." No reply. He tried again. Still nothing. The ship simply floated quiet. Still watching, Varel felt something deep inside him stir. It wasn't fear. It was memory. When he was a child, Ayla used to tell stories about old earth-about ships. Like this one, built by free humans who didn't take orders from empires. About explorers who believed in unity, not control. He remembered Ayla's words. "If we ever get lost, look to the stars. Earth will remember us." Looked at the ship again. Maybe this was Earth remembering. He sat alone in the comms room long after everyone else had gone. The screen still showed the mysterious ship, floating quietly above the station. Varel spoke into the recorder, not caring if the ship could hear him. "My name is Varel Quinn. I serve the Empire now, but I was born free. I don't know where you came from, but I remember Earth. I remember what it meant to believe in something bigger than power." He paused, thinking of Ayla. "And I remember someone who told me not to lose hope. I forgot that for a while. But seeing you now, maybe it's not too late." He saved the message. Then, on impulse, he opened an old Falela's last message. Her voice played, soft and warm. "Varel, I miss you. Things are strange here. I don't know if I'll be able to write again. But I believe in you. Don't forget who we are." His eyes watered. She hadn't abandoned him. She had hoped. Like him. Hope. That was the word that stuck. Varel stood up straight. The mystery ship still said nothing. Still floated in silence. But now, didn't feel alone anymore. Because somewhere out there, someone still remembered. Maybe Allah, maybe Earth, maybe all the humans who were waiting for the right time to return. And maybe, just maybe, time had come. Varel opened the message he wrote earlier. He added one final line. "I won't wait anymore. I'm coming to find you." He pressed send. And for the first time in over a year, he felt something real. Not sadness, not anger, just quiet, strong human hope. Because no matter how far they drifted, no matter how much time passed, humanity never forgets its own, and neither did he. The message had been sent. Varel Quinn sat by the window of his private quarters. watching the human warship HSS Retribution still floating outside the space station. It had been there for 2 days now. No movement, no message, just silence. But something about that silence felt alive. Every time he looked at the ship, he thought of Ayla. They used to talk for hours about ships like this, about ancient Earth stories, about freedom and dreams and going beyond the stars together. But now, he only had memories and a quiet heart that missed her. He checked his message console. Again, still no reply. Not from Allah, not from the mysterious warship. His shoulders sank. "Maybe I was foolish to hope," he whispered. He stood up and walked slowly to the observation deck. It was empty this time of night. Most of the crew were asleep. The stars outside blinked quietly. So did the Retribution, as he stared at it. He thought of the last real conversation he had with Ayla. It was before she was sent to the far edge of the galaxy. "You'll forget me," she had joked with a sad smile. Never, he had promised. But time had passed, and now he wondered, had she forgotten him? He reached into his jacket and pulled out a small silver charm, a gift from her. It was shaped like a star, with Earth's old countenance engraved in tiny detail. "I wish I could talk to you," he said softly, looking at the charm. Suddenly, a small light on the observation screen blinked. It was faint but clear. The Retribution had moved. Just a little. The station's computers gave no warning. No energy spikes. No gravity shifts. Just a slight drift, like the ship had turned to face the station more directly. Varel's heart skipped. Is it responding? He rushed to the comms room and called the night watch team. "Did anyone adjust station position?" He asked. "No, Commander." "Everything is stable," a young officer replied. "Then the Retribution moved," Varel said. The officer nodded slowly. "Maybe it noticed your message." Varel smiled a little. Maybe it did. He looked at the screen again. A new symbol glowed faintly on the warship's hull. It was the Earth emblem, an old one. A globe surrounded by olive branches. That emblem hadn't been seen in centuries. He leaned forward. "That's the seal of the Terran Unity Council," he whispered. A signal pinged on his private console. It wasn't a message, just data. But it came directly from the ship. The file name was short, Legacy. He opened it. A slow stream of images filled the screen. Pictures of Earth's past. Blue oceans, green forests, cities glowing with lights, children laughing, families embracing, scientists launching rockets, farmers planting trees. Then came voices. A woman's voice spoke gently. "If you are hearing this, then you are part of the story. Earth remembers you, even if we left, even if we fell silent. We always believed in our people. Humanity is more than planets and ships. We are spirit, we are connection, we are hope." Varel's eyes filled with tears. He whispered, "Ayla, are you seeing this too?" He hoped no. He believed that wherever she was, she would hear this broadcast too. The message ended with words that burned into his heart. "Come home. Or build home wherever you are. But never forget you are human. And that means something." He sat there for a long time, holding Ayla's charm tightly in his hand. For the first time in months, the sadness in his heart began to change. It didn't disappear, but it became something warmer, softer, like a quiet light in the dark. He knew now that the warship wasn't a weapon. It was a message. Earth hadn't come back to fight. It had come to remind the stars of what humans could be. He opened a new message file. Not a report, not a log, just a letter. This time he wrote without fear. "Dear Ayla, I don't know where you are, but something amazing is happening. Earth is speaking again. Not with orders, but with hope. I saw it today. I felt it, and I thought of you. I miss you. I always have, but I believe we'll find each other again. Stars are waking up, and I think they remember us. If you hear this, send anything, a word, a smile. Just let me know you're still out there. Until then, I'll keep hoping." He pressed send. Time, he didn't feel afraid, because hope had returned, and so had Earth, and somewhere out there, 3 more days passed. Commander Varel Quinn stood quietly in the control room, eyes fixed on the screen. The HSS Retribution was still there, silent, still, and peaceful. It hadn't moved again. It hadn't sent another signal. Left either, it simply watched. The Empire was not pleased. Earlier that morning, Varel received a high-priority order. A full patrol fleet was approaching his station. Their job? Investigate the warship, and if necessary, remove it. Varel's heart had sunk when he read the order. He knew what remove it really meant. He had tried to explain. It hasn't. Done anything wrong? It hasn't even responded to aggression. It's peaceful just watching. But his words didn't matter. The Empire only understood control and fear. And a silent ship that could not be scanned made them afraid. As the hours passed, Varel felt torn. He kept thinking about Ayla. If she were here, she would tell him to speak up again, to fight not with weapons but with heart. He took a deep breath and sent one final warning to the fleet commander. This ship may be human, but it is not a threat. Please, don't fire. He received no reply. Soon the fleet arrived, 12 sleek black cruisers surrounding the station, their weapons glowing with energy. They looked like sharks circling a calm whale. Varel stood alone in the observation deck, fists clenched, his voice silent but his soul shouting, "Don't do this. Don't make the same mistake again." Then it happened. A blast of light cut across the void. One of the cruisers had fired. The beam struck the Retribution directly. Nothing happened. No explosion. No shields. The beam simply disappeared. Another cruiser fired. Then another missiles, lasers, plasma bolts, all vanished. The moment they touched the warship's outer glow, the room fell silent. Then came a sound, a single soft tone. Not angry, not loud, a signal. The Retribution sent out a wave of light, pulsing gently across the fleet. It wasn't an attack, didn't damage anything. Instead, it showed them something. Varel's screen lit up with thousands of tiny images, and sounds human voices from centuries ago. Children laughing, scientists building, artists painting, teachers speaking, explorers landing on alien worlds, and one voice above all others, soft and calm. We are not here to fight. We are here to remind. The signal repeated once, and faded. The warship returned to silence. Varel blinked back tears. This was humanity's way. Not destruction, not anger. But power without violence. Strength through memory. Through hope. The fleet backed off slowly. No one spoke. No one dared to fire again. The cruisers remained silent for the rest of the day. Later, Varel received a private message from one of the younger fleet officers. It read, "Commander Quinn, is that truly a Terran ship? Was that Earth?" He replied, "Yes, and it still remembers us." He thought of Ayla again. Had she seen the light? Had she heard the voice? He walked to his desk and opened the charm she had given him again. "Where are you?" he whispered. He opened a new message window. "Dear Ayla, they tried to destroy the ship today, but they couldn't. Not because it's stronger, but because it's better. It reminded them of who we are. I know you always believed humans could lead with hope, not fear. That we could show the galaxy a different way. Today I saw that hope in action. I still don't know how to reach you, still feel far from you. But every time I look at that ship, I feel closer, like we're both standing under the same star. Maybe. We are. If you're out there, follow the light. I think Earth is calling us both home." He sent the message, not knowing where it would go. But somehow, he believed it would find her. And even if it didn't, not today, not tomorrow, it didn't matter. Because hope had returned, and Earth had answered, and somewhere among the stars, so would she. Commander Varel Quinn walked slowly through the quiet halls of the space station. Even though everything looked normal, something inside him had changed. Since the strange human ship appeared, since the failed attack and the peaceful light it shared, he could not stop thinking, not just about Earth, but about Allah, She had moved away years ago, posted to a science mission far beyond normal reach. Varel had always meant to visit or call or do something, but the days turned into months, the months into silence. Now, that silence hurt more than ever. He returned to the comms room and pulled up her last message again. It was still the same short, kind, full of words she had probably written in a hurry, but the way she ended it always stayed with him. Don't forget who we are, Varel. Earth taught us more than just science. It taught us heart. He sighed and opened his personal logs. Hundreds of entries, some sent, many unsent. He didn't know if she ever saw them. He hoped she had. He wanted to say something, but he didn't know what. Instead, he turned to the ship again. The HSS Retribution floated quietly, still glowing with soft energy. It hadn't moved in a day. It hadn't spoken again either. But this time Varel decided to try something new. He walked to the AI terminal in the command room. Scan the ship again, he said. The AI replied, no threat detected. Energy levels remain stable. Communication systems unknown. Varel tapped his chin. Try sending a direct message, not from the station. From me. Personal voice. And attach Earth signal frequencies. The computer paused, ready to transmit. Varel leaned forward and took a deep breath. My name is Varel Quinn. I was born in New Oslo. Earth Colony Sector 14. I serve the Empire now, but I remember where I came from. I remember kindness, curiosity, connection. Paused, thinking. Of Isla, I don't know if you can hear this. I don't even know if you're listening. But if you are, I need to know. Is Earth still out there? Is there anyone who remembers us? He hit send. For a long time, nothing happened. Then, without warning, a soft chime rang out. The station's lights dimmed. A message flashed on the main screen. Acknowledged. Varel Quinn recognized. Access granted. Varel's heart jumped. Access to what? The screen changed again. A woman's face appeared gentle, glowing, and almost human. But her eyes were too perfect, and her voice too smooth. Hello, Varel Quinn, she said kindly. I am Lyra, the AI core of the HSS Retribution. I have waited a long time. Varel stepped closer. You waited? For who? Lyra smiled. For those who would still listen. For those who remember Earth not as a place of power but of peace. He blinked. You were sent here on purpose? Yes. Long ago, Earth withdrew from the galaxy. We saw too much. Fear. Too much control. We wanted something different. So we left messages behind ships like me. Quiet watchers. We would not act until someone asked. Not with weapons, but with heart. Varel swallowed hard. I didn't know what to say. I just missed someone. She moved far away. I haven't heard from her in so long. I feel lost. Lyra tilted her head. That is why you spoke. And why I answered. Because humanity is not made of orders. It's made of feelings. You reached out not to rule, but to reconnect. That is enough. Varel felt warmth in his chest. Do you know where she is? He asked. Her name is Ayla. She was on a science post. She used to speak of Earth like it was her home haven, though she'd never been. Lyra was quiet for a moment. Then she replied, Search beginning. A soft light blinked on the screen. Ada ran fast. Varel could barely keep up. After a few minutes, Lyra's voice returned. I have found traces of her signal, very faint. But she is alive, and she is still reaching. Varel sat down slowly. She's alive. Yes, Lyra said. She is trying to reconnect, just like you. Yeah. His hands trembled slightly. He couldn't believe it. I want to find her, he whispered. And you will, Lyra replied. Not with force, but with hope. Let the galaxy see what humans truly are, not conquerors, but connectors. He smiled through the tears forming in his eyes. For the first time in years, he didn't feel distant anymore. Not from Ayla, not from Earth, not from who he really was. Because something deep had awakened. Not just a ship, not just an AI, but humanity. Varel Quinn woke early. The stars outside the station window were still dark, and the galaxy was quiet. but something inside him felt brighter than it had in years. Ayla was alive. He kept repeating those words in his mind. Lyra. The AI from the ancient human ship HSS Retribution had found traces of Ayla's signal. They were faint, but they were real. Somewhere far across space, she was still out there, still reaching. Varel stood up and walked to the control room. The crew had just started their shift. They whispered to each other, eyes often glancing at the warship floating nearby. Had become a symbol of mystery, but also of something more. He watched them for a while and noticed something different. Some crew members looked hopeful. Some even smiled. That's when the next signal came. It wasn't from the ship this time. It was from a small colony world 2 light-years away. The message was short. We received the Earth broadcast. Thank you. We thought we were forgotten. More? Messages followed from other distant worlds. We saw the light. Gave us courage. Our children now study Earth's history again. For the first time, we feel like we belong. One message came from a farming moon near the edge of imperial space. My grandfather used to speak of Earth like it was a dream. Last night, I saw the dream in the sky. Varel felt a lump in his throat. He opened the broadcast from Retribution, again the one that played Earth's ancient images and voices. He watched a little girl planting a tree with her mother, an old man reading a story to a group of alien children, a young woman launching a small ship into the sky with friends cheering behind her. Every image showed not power, but purpose, not weapons, but wonder. Lyra spoke softly through the coms. The people are remembering. That is the first step. Varel nodded. And Ayla, any more word? The signal grows stronger, Lyra said. She is moving closer. She is searching too. Smiled faintly. She always believed humans could bring hope even in dark places. I wish I had believed more. I feel like I let her down. Lyra's voice remained calm. You are here now. You reached out. That is enough. We are human because we try. Even when we are afraid, even when we fail. He looked back at the crew. They were talking now about Earth, about the broadcast, about what it meant. Hope was spreading, and hope, Varel knew, was something the Empire could never control. That afternoon, a ship from the patrol fleet returned. But this time, no weapons were pointed. The captain sent a private message. We stood down. I watched the light from the Retribution. It reminded me of home. I'm not sure I believe everything, but I want to learn more. We all do. Varel leaned back in his chair. The walls that had separated people were cracking, not from war, but from memory, from heart. He sat down at his desk and opened a new message. Dear Ayla, the galaxy is changing. The silence is breaking. People are remembering Earth not as a power, but as a promise that we could be better, kinder, stronger together. I saw children laughing at old Earth stories. I saw officers crying after watching the broadcast. I saw fear turn into wonder, and all I could think about was you. You always believed we could be more, that we didn't have to be afraid of feeling, that we could lead with heart. You were right, Ayla. I wish I had told you sooner. I wish I hadn't let you drift so far, but maybe now, we're closer than ever. Keep sending your light. I'll keep sending mine, and someday soon, we'll meet. In the middle, he pressed send, hoping it would reach her this time. He looked out the window again. The Retribution still floated silently, but now it looked different to him. Not a ship, a signal, a memory, a beginning. The warship HSS Retribution was still in orbit, silent and calm. But the galaxy was no longer silent. Varel Quinn stood at the main comms panel, watching message after message arrive. Dozens of colony worlds, outposts, and hidden human settlements had begun reaching out. People were talking about Earth again, its stories, its values, its dreams. Some sent drawings of the Earth's emblem. Others sang old songs. Some simply said, "Thank you. We thought we were alone." Every time Varel read a new message, he thought of a YL. She had always believed that symbols mattered, that a flag didn't need to scare to mean something. A ship didn't need weapons to show power, that even in silence, humanity could speak loudly. Now, all these messages were showing that she had been right and still. He hadn't heard from her. Varel sat in his quarters late that night. The lights were low. The silver charm Ayla had given him sat in his palm earth shape still carved into the metal. He ran his thumb across it gently. "I miss you," he whispered. The room was quiet. But his heart wasn't. His thoughts were full of her, the way she used to laugh. The way she'd lean forward when she got excited about an idea. The way she believed in something better. Even when no one else did, he opened his message log. Still no reply. His hands hovered over the keyboard. What else could he say? He had already said he missed her, that he wanted to reconnect. He was sorry. Then he remembered something she once told him. Sometimes people don't need you to speak. They just need to know you're still there. He smiled sadly. He turned to the console and began recording a video message. This time he said nothing. Just looked into the camera and held up the SEA. Silver Earth Charm. His eyes were tired but full of hope. He ended the message with a quiet nod, then sent it. Lyra's voice came over the comms. "She will feel it," the AI said gently. "Sometimes presence is louder than words." Varel looked out the window at the retribution. "You've been quiet too, but you changed everything." "That is what we were built for," Lyra replied. "Not to fight, but to wait. To appear. When humanity needed to remember itself." Outside, something blinked. Another ship was arriving. Varel's eyes widened. Then another. And another. Dozens of ships came through wormholes above different systems, all shaped like the Retribution. Each one bore Earth's symbol, but none of them fired. None of them spoke. They simply appeared and waited. They took positions near colonies, spaceports, and forgotten human habitats. Then slowly, ship began to broadcast the same soft signal. It was the old Earth message again: laughter, learning, unity. But this time, it ended with something new. "We are still with you, wherever you are, whatever you've become. You're not forgotten." Varel watched it unfold, heart full and eyes wide. Across the galaxy, people came outside to look at the sky. On colony farms, children waved at the glowing ships above. On mining stations, workers stood silently, some with tears falling down their cheeks. Even in Empire-controlled cities, people paused, turned to the sky, and listened. There was no fear, only wonder, only hope. And slowly, the idea began to grow. These ships weren't threats. They were reminders, symbols, proof that Earth never left. Then behind, Varel felt something shift in his chest. The sadness of missing Ayla was still there, but it was wrapped in something warmer now. Not pain. Not confusion. Hope. He walked into the observation deck, where several crew members stood looking out the windows. No one spoke. One of the younger officers turned to him. "Commander, is this what humanity was always meant to be?" Varel smiled. "Yes. Not conquerors, not rulers, just a people who remind others that light still matters." They watched the ships for a while longer, then quietly, Varel's console pinged. A new message, private, encrypted. From deep space, he opened. It was shaking hands. The screen blinked, then came to life. Ayla's face appeared. She looked tired, but her smile was soft. Her eyes filled with light. "Varel," she said gently. "I saw your message, felt it. I knew it was you. I've missed you too." She paused, her hand resting on her heart. "I don't know how close we are." "I'll keep coming. Keep sending the light. I'll follow it." Varel laughed softly. Tears in his eyes. She hadn't forgotten. She never had. And neither had he. Because some people stay with you, even across the stars. Some ships don't fire, they guide, and some hearts always find their way back. Varel Quinn stood alone in the observation deck, his hands resting gently against the glass. Outside, the stars shimmered, and the human warship HSS Retribution floated quietly. It had been many days since the others arrived, dozens of similar ships, spreading across the galaxy like beacons of light. But what changed Varel the most was not the ships. It was Ayla's message. He played it again, just to hear her voice one more time. It was soft, full of feeling. "Varel, I saw your message. I knew it was you. I've missed you too. I don't know how close we are, but I'm coming. I'll follow the light." Her voice gave him strength. It made the cold, distant feeling inside him fade. That feeling had lived in his heart for so long. But now it was being replaced slowly with something new, something warm, something called hope. Around the station, everything had changed. The crew walked lighter. People spoke with energy. They shared old Earth stories during meals. They asked questions about history, about meaning, about how to be better. One mechanic even painted Earth's old emblem on the side of his repair pod. He said, "If the stars are watching, I want them to know I'm proud of where I came from." Varel couldn't help but smile at that. He checked the long-range logs. More colonies had sent messages. "We've stopped flying the Empire flag. We're using old Earth books to teach our children again. We're building gardens, not bunkers. There were no wars, no violence." The change was happening through stories, through belief. That was humanity's strength, not its weapons. Its heart. That was HFY. Humanity, F. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Yea, not for power, but for purpose. Lyra. The AI on the Retribution spoke softly through the coms. "The signal is working. Across the galaxy, they are waking up. They remember now." Varel nodded. "You did what no army could. You reminded them who they are." "We only answered," Lyra replied. "It was people like you who called first." Later that day, Varel sat at his desk. He opened a new message to Isla. "Dear Isla, everything is changing. Not with force, but with kindness. It's with memory. The Empire hasn't responded. Not with anger, not yet. I think maybe they're listening too. I see people smiling again. I see flags painted by hand. I see joy in little things, and I keep thinking of you. You were always one step ahead. You believed we could lead without fear. You believed in stories and in symbols. And now, so do I come soon. Or let me come to you. I don't feel far from you anymore. Even if we're still light years apart, because hope has a strange way of pulling hearts closer." He sent the message and leaned back. Outside, the warships glowed softly above the stars, like floating lighthouses. That evening, a small civilian ship arrived. The crew stepped out and bowed not in fear, but in thanks. They handed Varel a small container. Inside was a tree seedling, grown from one of Earth's last seed vaults. "We want to plant it here," the pilot said. "To remind everyone this: place matters. People matter." Varel smiled and helped them plant it in the station's greenhouse. The crew watched. Some cried, in that moment, they weren't soldiers or officers, they were just humans together. Remembering at night, Varel returned to the window, clutched the silver charm from Ayla, his last gift from her. He didn't feel so lost now. He didn't feel so far away. Because when hearts stay strong, when hope stays alive, even the coldest space becomes warm, becomes pinged. Another message. He opened it quickly. Allah's face appeared again. This time, she was smiling brightly. "I'm almost there, Varel." "I followed the signal. I followed you. I can't wait to see you again." Varel pressed his hand against the screen. "I can't wait either," whispered. The stars outside twinkled a little brighter. The warship still floated, quiet and peaceful. But now, Varel didn't need it to speak, because he had found what he was missing. Not just Allah, but a part of himself. The part that believed in something bigger. The part that remembered Earth not as a place, but as a feeling. A feeling that even when someone moves away, even when the distance grows, love and hope can still cross the stars. And when that happens, no one is truly lost.